YouTube.
Okay, YouTube. Today is a special day. In the Congress, Senator Jerrold Nadler is introducing a bill to repeal the Defense of Marriage laws. And we've come to you today with a lot to talk about that. So I'll let Jay start it off.
Okay, so as everybody may know, DOMA was first introduced about 12 years ago by a Republican Congress, and it was signed by Bill Clinton, a Democrat president. Now, this is a topic that me and Brian have been wanting to make a video on for a long time. And for all of you who maybe don't know what DOMA is, I will give you a clarification. It is a pretty simple bill, and basically there's two parts to DOMA. The first part says, no state or other political subdivision within the United States needs to treat a relationship between persons of the same sex as a marriage, even if the relationship is considered a marriage in another state. Part 2 is where the federal government gets involved. It says the federal government defines marriage as a legal union exclusively between one man and one woman. Okay, so this bill was passed by Congress overwhelmingly and also passed by the Senate overwhelmingly. What the bill does today is it hopefully overturns DOMA, even though it doesn't have a lot of support in the Congress. I think it's a first step. I think it's very important that people, we're going to put the links on the side where you can go and basically ask your senators and congressmen to basically sign on to this bill and let people know in Washington that it's an unconstitutional bill, that it goes against the 14th Amendment, which is a guarantee of equality for all individuals in the United States. Basically the 14th Amendment says that all citizens of the United States are to be treated equally under our laws. And what DOMA does is it basically says that that's not true when it comes to gay people. Also, states, it's been long-standing history that states accept each other's marriage laws. And that is another thing that DOMA is basically superseding. It's not allowing other states to recognize our marriages here in California. I mean, there's 18,000 couples, 36,000 people that married here in California before Prop 8 passed. And the federal government does not have to acknowledge that. It basically says that we're not married. Also, Massachusetts, Vermont, Iowa, and all the other states that legally have gay marriage now, their marriages end at the borders. The federal government does not acknowledge those marriages. It basically has put itself on, DOMA has allowed it to put on blindfolds and decide that those marriages are not legal marriages in the United States of America. That is an infringement on states' rights, and it's an infringement on equal protection under the law. And, we know that there's a case going before the Supreme Court now that is going to, hopefully those questions will be answered, and we'll see how the Supreme Court rules. We're a little bit nervous about that because we know it's a conservative court. But when you look at our laws and you look at the United States Constitution, it's pretty clear that you cannot pass laws that treat people differently because of their race, their gender, and their sexual orientation. I mean, we are all unique individuals, and that's what makes this country strong. And, hopefully there'll be more brave people like the senator from New York that will keep challenging, even if those laws don't have, even if his bill doesn't get support and it doesn't pass, hopefully we'll be able to see who our allies are in the Congress and the Senate, who are people that believe in equality for all people, and it will give us a better sense of understanding when it comes to our protections.
Another issue with this bill in particular is that its lack of support, basically. There was an article a while back about how Barney Frank wouldn't sign on to the bill, and his reason for doing so was because he felt it didn't have a chance in hell of being passed. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Frank. Just because you think that this isn't the winner doesn't mean that you shouldn't back and support it. This is related also to the March on Washington, which was put together by Cleve Jones, and has been coming under fire by a lot of big-name gay agencies. Just because we don't believe in the issue doesn't mean that we shouldn't support it. If we're constantly working against each other, we're not going to see the advancements that we'd like to see. Who knows how much further this bill would have gone had Barney Frank signed on to it. And the March on Washington, you don't believe in it, you don't like Cleve Jones personally, you think, who cares? Go there to support the greater cause. If we don't start working together, we're going to tear each other up worse than the anti-gay marriage folks ever will.
And on that topic, I think, when I was researching this DOMA thing, I came across an interesting statement The Defense of Marriage Act was authorized by then Georgia Representative Bob Barr, who was a Republican, and it was signed into law by President Bill Clinton. And here's the funny thing. Bob Barr is now against DOMA. He introduced DOMA into the Congress. Bob Barr was the person that got DOMA on the radar, that got all these weak senators and congressmen to vote for it, that basically discriminated against gay people, in our state and federal laws. Now, Bob Barr now says, well, now that he's no longer in office, I'm against DOMA because DOMA, it really isn't right. It's, what is his wording here? It says, Barr has since apologized for his sponsorship of DOMA and thinks it should be repealed, saying it violates the principles of federalism. Well, no, duh. I mean, when you pass laws that discriminate against people, of course, And for Bob Barr now to be apologizing for his introduction and support of DOMA, to me is cowardice. I mean, come on, Bob Barr. When you were in office and you were worried about getting reelected, then you had no problem making discriminatory laws. And now that you're looking at your life and you're looking back and you're thinking, oh, how am I going to be perceived by history? Someday when gay and lesbians have rights in this country, are they going to consider me a homophobe? Just like all those racists that passed laws against African Americans and treated African Americans differently when the majority felt that was an okay thing to do. Now we look back at them as being small-minded people and they have stains on their history. Bob Barr, you will always have the stain on your history as being the person who introduced DOMA into law in this country. You're responsible for DOMA. Also, Bill Clinton, you signed DOMA. Take some responsibility for signing DOMA. You now are apologizing for signing DOMA and you think it's a bad law and you regret doing it. Well, shame on you. Shame on you for making it so 6 states who now have legal gay protections and gay marriage for its citizens can now be recognized by the federal government because of a bill you signed into law, which you did not have to sign into law. You could have vetoed it. So, Bill Clinton, it must be nice now to look back on history and say, well, I probably shouldn't have done that. I'm against it now. But how many people have suffered? How many people have been hurt because they can't receive their husbands' or wives' retirement benefits because of the law you signed? So, I think it's easy to look back on history and say, I'm sorry. When I had power, I should have, could have, but you didn't. Okay?
And if you really want to get out there and show you're sorry, get out there and do some work to help repeal it.
Exactly. Don't be just sitting around saying that you're sorry for signing something. Get out there and fight it. Come out. And the same with Barack Obama. I mean, as a lot of people know, the gay community is a little bit
ticked off,
disappointed,
let down.
Yeah, disappointed because we fought hard for you to get elected into office. We were standing there next to you, Obama, saying that we know that you'll come in and make change. And every single gay topic that's come up, you've poo-pooed. Even DOMA. When DOMA came up into the court system, you fought to protect DOMA. You basically threw gay people under the bus. It wasn't until we started criticizing you and your actions that you took a second look at it and go, oh, maybe I better back down on this because there goes my contributors. There goes my gay support. Maybe I got to do this a little bit more sensitive. And you can't keep doing that. You can't keep passing laws like Don't Ask, Don't Tell, another Clinton law, and expecting us to support you.
And, when it comes time for elections, there's a lot of flowery speeches and everybody's blowing sunshine where it doesn't belong. Words are cheap. That's all we've heard lately. We're going to do this for you. We're going to do that for you. Or after the fact, when you do exactly the opposite, oh, I'm so sorry that I did that. We're watching and we know what you're doing. And it's not about what you tell us anymore. It's about what you do.
And, this video, we were just supposed to be talking about DOMA, and it kind of went in a whole new direction. So I hope it wasn't too long, and check out Brian's new blog. He's doing a great job. Take care, YouTube. Bye. Can you say goodbye? Say bye!
Now you know, Sam.
Okay. Well, that was different than I thought.
No, it said what needed to get said.
Yeah.